The SiGMA Foundation is an integral part of the SiGMA Group, dedicated to making a positive impact through various projects and expeditions. In the past, the Foundation has organized remarkable expeditions, including Tupcal last May, Camino de Santiago, and the Kilimanjaro climb. Upcoming is the Lost City Trail in Colombia, which will work in aid to repair cleft lip and palates for children. These adventures not only challenge participants physically, but also serve as a platform to raise awareness and support for worthy causes. In addition to these expeditions, the SiGMA Foundation actively engages in community cleanups and local treks around Malta and Gozo, promoting environmental sustainability and fostering a sense of stewardship among participants. The Foundation's commitment to philanthropy extends beyond Maltese borders. Recently, they celebrated the inauguration of a school in Bonga, Ethiopia, fully funded by the Maltese.
And I would like to thank all the Maltese people who have been helping SiGMA to realize this project, which is very, very much for the poor.
This significant milestone exemplifies their dedication to providing educational opportunities in underserved communities. Looking ahead, the SiGMA Foundation has ambitious plans, including upcoming projects in the Philippines, specifically in Bataan close by, focusing on housing and the development of multisensory halls. Moreover, the Foundation is actively involved in women empowerment projects in Ethiopia, aiming to uplift and support women in their pursuit of education, economic independence, and personal growth. Furthermore, the SiGMA Foundation is passionate about making a difference in the lives of children. They are committed to providing surgical interventions for children with cleft lip and palate conditions in Colombia, ensuring they receive the care they need to lead healthier lives. Through their diverse projects and expeditions, the SiGMA Foundation continues to demonstrate their unwavering dedication to creating positive change in communities around the world, leaving a lasting impact on education, environmental, sustainability, empowerment, and healthcare.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Let me tell you a story, a true story. This happened to me sailing off the coast of Greece a few weeks ago. Very good friends, wine, a beautiful ambiance. So the truth prevails. Words, they don't need to be looked for, Everything remains unadulterated. And amongst 1001 conversations, this really good friend of mine, we've shared 40 years of friendship. He turns around and, in a very innocent way, he defines me subtly as underachieved. The first thing I did was, he retracted his words. But they were said. They were said. I'm not saying they were meant, but subconsciously, it was there. So I pocketed this, and in the stillness of the night, a couple of hours later, I was discerning over this. I was telling myself, what instigates people to classify others as accomplished or underachievers? And I think I would venture to say that our minds across the sands of time, they create a scratch box, a tick list. Keith, married? No. Kids? No. Fancy house, fancy car, jacuzzi, sauna, pool? No. Fancy watch at least? No. But it's never been my jam. It's never been something that intrigues me to any extent. But the guy knows this. He knows 40 years of my gauntlet. He's been to three expeditions that we've organized, and he's visited Ethiopia with me twice over for the inauguration of 2 different projects. So he knows. He has an inside view. However, what actually does turn me on? So we've seen one side of life. The corporate ladder, the hamster wheel, blah, blah. The other side of life. If this is represented within the bounds of a box, you shake this box, it doesn't rattle. Because there are the intangibles. Love, empathy, compassion, kindred spirit. that will to engage in the betterment of lives. Kids that have been dealt unfriendly cards, remembering that any of those kids could have been me, or worse still, my kids. There's no difference between me and them. Going back to the other end of this sphere, his classification of successful or not, success more often than not being based on guile, strength, enterprise, energy, resistance to failure. So you start climbing up the steps of that corporate ladder. Would I ever deny anyone that situation? No, never. You know, it's a right, it's a royal right, it's a vested right that you should adhere to. So yes, to make it your magnetic north, if you will, but not at the expense of completely blindsiding the other side of life, the box, the intangibles. And luckily for us, both these spheres can live in perfect harmony. They marry off extremely well, the proportions of which I don't fit into. Whether it's a 90 and a 10, an 80 and a 20, an 80 and a 20. I mean, I dedicate my life for what I do. I'm a pharmacist by profession, and I've been engaged in charity primarily in Ethiopia for 22 years now. We've built 10 schools. We've nurtured, fed, protected, educated thousands of kids. Yes, I'm blowing my trumpet. But unfortunately, this side of life, we always just refer to this and this. Coming from a friend, so imagine an innocent bystander. It doesn't really count unless you bring it to the fore, you bring it to people's attention. So big picture made small. Our ethos, the mantra that we decide to embrace and hold close to our heart is, we do what we can, when we can, for whom we can. Why? Because we can. And it's a privilege denied to so many. I mean, so many people from our island back in Malta, we engage, you know, and obviously I'm associated with Philanthropy, nobody stopped me. And we get chatting, we have a coffee, and the guy is weather-worn, you know, he's run the gauntlet of time. I would so much have liked to get engaged, to be involved. And in my mind I say, but you had all the implements at hand to enact change. You know, you had the strength, you had the contacts, you probably had the money to do it as well. Now, it's in the past. So all you can do is recriminate what could have been. And that's something I never wanted to do. I never wanted to fade away saying I could have, but I didn't. And it's so easy to say, it's a problem, Keith, but it's not my problem. Make it your problem, make it your own. We can do this. We have that privilege. Give me 1 sec. Do I have any questions at the moment, please? Anything related to charity, anything that I could possibly answer. Yes. Where are you from? Romania. Nice. Ever been to Malta? Never. Okay, there's always a first time. I need to show you something. Yes, that's what you. Why is it going? I guess I'm not your typical philanthropist, but when I got my design work for my tattoos, I didn't want anything complicated, but I wanted to pass on a message. So when I was chatting and trekking, and that's what we do, I'll come to that in a minute. I want my ink, my tats, to represent what I believe in, my mantra, my everyday credo. And I really fear that most people live this life, a square peg in a round hole. I was a pharmacist. I ran a company for 21 years. Was it okay? Yeah, of course it was okay. But it wasn't perfect. So when Eman Pulis approached me, listen, Keith, because years of friendship, you know, we go back, we have deep roots. Let's start off something bigger than opening a school every year. Then I started living beyond this tat, you know? You fight like a lion for what you believe in. The amount of problems that we come across in philanthropy is beyond belief. I mean, I was speaking with all these young kids, the kids manning the SiGMA front, and I tell them, I said, listen, I wish your problems were the problems I had to handle on a day-by-day basis. It would be so easy. But if you believe in your cause, nothing is unassailable. You just concentrate on your end game and just plow through. But you need to have the strength of a lion to do so. And finally, the bullet with your name on it. Just like I was saying before, that person who was, I really wish I was involved. We, more often than not, we end up subliminally creating our best buy date, our expiry date. For guys, it's this, for women, it's this. I'll be somewhere there. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. So when you have the time, the opportunity beckons, grab it and run with it. Because you never, ever know what's around the corner. Our 1-minute resume on everything vis-a-vis what we do. I was never going to be someone running a charity which wasn't based on adventure. I never really liked the fact that you could go out. I do. I'll go and do it for the kids. I'll do anything. But I much rather created a business model, if you will, based on adventure. So what we do is we organize expeditions. So we test the Intrepid. I've organized 13 expeditions up Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. We actually hold the highest percentage success rate to the Uhuru Peak in the world. So we know what we're doing. We recently introduced Mount Topkal, which is a great entry-level mountain in Morocco. We organize on a twice-yearly basis the Camino de Santiago in Spain. And in January, we'll start off with the Lost City Trail in the Sierra Nevada in Colombia. So we bring expeditions together. Normally, the expedition size hunts at around 30 people. We get these people to form a fundraising platform, bring the monies together to finance projects primarily in Ethiopia. But once again, we're spreading our efforts. Within the next couple of months, we'll be building a multi-sensory hall in Bataan, which is 3 hours outside the Philippines, as well as financing the reconstruction of 100 cleft lip and or cleft palate for kids in Cartagena in Colombia. So build teams, build fundraising platforms, build goals, build projects, and build lives. And on that note, thank you very much for your time. Much love, much respect, and make it count.